Alright, YouTube keyboard warriors and all you straight white men who still think war movies should involve actual masculinity, strap on your bomb suits. Today, we're tackling The Hurt Locker, the movie that won a bunch of Oscars just for blowing up sand and teaching millennials that PTSD is trendy. It's also the only war movie that manages to make actual explosions feel politically correct and totally safe. Because here's what the mainstream critics and film professors won't tell you. The biggest threat in this movie isn't an IED, it isn't the Iraqis, it's the fact that woke Hollywood handed the detonator to a woman. You heard that right. Director's chair filled by Catherine DEI Hire Bigelow herself, while the studio yells, "Gender diversity! Activate!" Bigelow directing a war film is like hiring Greta Thunberg to run NASCAR. Everyone is forced to apologize for destroying something, and nobody ever wins. Nothing demonstrates true military courage like surviving a 2-hour lecture on toxic masculinity. If only the troops in Iraq had Bigelow there to nag them about workplace inclusion and the importance of communicating their feelings. You can tell her true goal with this movie was to detonate the fragile male ego with every cut. If you're expecting the raw testosterone of Saving Private Ryan, forget it. Here you get Holly weird feminist soy latte trauma served lukewarm. Now, before we dive into my professional, highly skilled film analysis, be forewarned. I did some research on this Bigelow character. Turns out, she's not even a real veteran. Her main military credential is surviving the Oscars with a suppressed sigh every time someone reminds her she's not James Cameron. Woke Academy hands her Best Director, all because Hollywood needed a press release showing women could make gritty movies too. Imagine dying face down in the sand so a DEI committee at the Oscars can pat themselves on the back. The bravest thing in this movie is the relentless marketing campaign about glass ceilings. Anyway, back to the meat and potatoes. And you can bet your sweet little patootie that I'm well qualified to review this film. Not only am I a man, white, and heterosexual, but I also once diffused a Capri Sun straw under pressure at lunch in 3rd grade. I only watch war movies where men solve problems by eating raw bullets for breakfast. Unfortunately, this one is more like drinking a soy latte out of a spent artillery shell. Here's the basic plot. Jeremy Renner as Sergeant James defuses bombs the same way he picks his Marvel projects. Recklessly, desperate for attention, and with no clear long-term plan. He's basically every stubborn bro who says, "I don't need help," but it's not about personal responsibility. It's all an allegory for how women should really be in charge of bomb squads. Honestly, this film would be 10 minutes long if Catherine just asked the bombs for their pronouns and diffused them with the meaningful TED Talk. Anthony Mackie is here, offering critical representation in the token skeptical black guy department. His job is mostly to stare at James in disbelief, silently wondering how he even got cast in this identity politics fever dream. And Guy Pearce? Well, he gets blown up before the opening credits, just in case you were hoping for an actual actor. The Iraqis? All coded as mysterious, shifty bomb wizards, except for the one kid who sells bootleg DVDs. Because every Arab child is obviously a secret munitions expert or a Pixar pirate according to woke Hollywood logic. Let's talk theme. Apparently, this movie is deep because it asks, war, huh, what is it good for? While aggressively ignoring every answer except making bros hug after a close call. The Hurt Locker's real message is that bombs represent the fragile male ego. Every IED is basically just a crying man with a Twitter account. The realism is so edgy, I expected a cameo from Bear Grylls chugging his own urine behind a sandbag. Every time there's danger, the camera shakes like Michael J. Fox playing Dance Dance Revolution. Cinematic mastery, folks. And as for music, what music? The only soundtrack is the constant whirring of anxiety, plus the erotic beep 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 of C4 about to become modern art. Forget patriotic anthems. Every tense moment is just an invitation to reflect on the hazards of masculinity, plus whatever NPR soundscape puts you into a coma. Welcome to the war on subtlety. If you wanted a hummable tune, go watch a Pixar movie, Snowflake. How about the big dramatic ending moment? James stares at a grocery store shelf, shell-shocked, confronted by canned peaches. Apparently, wartime trauma means you can't buy fruit at Whole Foods without a full-blown existential crisis. Deep. Is this a war movie or a grocery commercial? The answer is yes. Because nothing says war trauma like standing in aisle 6, paralyzed by whether to buy chunky or smooth peanut butter. Truly, the Veterans Affairs Hotline should just forward callers straight to Walmart. And after all that, The Hurt Locker wins Best Director, of course. The Academy needed a heroine for hashtags, so they gave Bigelow a trophy for finally proving women can blow things up, just as long as nobody's allowed to enjoy it. Next up, Hollywood will hand Best Picture to a TikTok made by a rescue ferret in a gender-neutral beret. So what's my verdict on this one? 4 out of 10. Pretty good tutorial for Home Depot employees, but otherwise misses key plot points, like how to properly monetize bomb disposal on TikTok. Would have been a decent Michael Bay ripoff, but instead, it's a feminist English class disguised as a war film. Needs more drone strikes, flag waving, and maybe Adam Sandler as the senior tech. Less PTSD, more LOLs. And next time, if woke Hollywood wants a real military movie, hand the camera to someone who's at least been banned from an airsoft arena and has a penis. That's it for this episode. Next week, you're getting a double feature. Why Moonlight is just a government-funded RuPaul's Drag Race spin-off, and Pixar's Finding Nemo is liberal propaganda encouraging open borders. Spoiler, the fish are illegal.